business owners and executives from around the Valley. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Business Leaders. I'm Lance Cardoza, and before we start anything, I want to thank Flooring Liquidators. You see their logo down below. They sponsor this episode of Business Leaders. This week is no stranger to me, no strangers to me. It's David Black, Denise Baronian. Welcome to Business Leaders. You've been on radio with me before.
Yes.
We haven't done television yet, but from Fresno Pacific University, and we all have a passion for veterans. Former veteran.
Yes.
David.
Yep.
And so we're going to talk about something real exciting for our veterans here in the Valley.
Yes.
And we're always trying to find a way to honor our veterans and also to be able to let them know that we respect them and we're not forgetting about them.
Absolutely.
And Denise, I know that's very important to you. But how's that all tie with Fresno, or from Fresno Pacific University?
Yes.
And the program we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
What do you do for Fresno Pacific University, Denise?
So for Fresno Pacific, I'm an executive director of regional enrollment. So I oversee our regional campuses, our degree completion, adult learner programs, and our graduate programs.
Perfect. And how that ties in also with our veterans. David works for your department and works on recruitment for veterans that are wanting to enroll into Fresno Pacific.
Yes, he works with the veterans coming in to make sure that they know the benefits that they have available to them, as well as providing support and kind of a safe place to just come hang out and share
Sea stories.
Sea stories, that's what they're called, sea stories.
Sea stories, because he's with the Navy.
Yes.
Formerly with the Navy, yes.
Yes. But we just want to provide a safe place that veterans can come and just share with like-minded individuals and be able to just tell their story.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
David, how long have you been doing that with Fresno Pacific University?
Oh Lord, I guess I've been there now. Geez, what, 5 years?
5
now?
years, I think, yeah.
About 5 years now.
5 years.
Yeah.
And you've always had a passion for sort of like introducing veterans to opportunities. A lot of times I've heard you say the words, veterans do not want a handout,
Yeah.
but they want a hand up.
Yep.
And sometimes they don't want the hand up,
Yep.
but it's our job to show our respect for them and be able to help them out with information, and that's what you do with Fresno Pacific.
Yeah, help them navigate that higher education component of where they're at in their life, and I love being a part of that process in their life where they're at now.
With that now, do you find a lot of times that when they are getting out of the military, they're just not sure what they want to do or where they want to go?
Yeah, the military is really good about bringing service members in, breaking them down, and redefining them as soldiers, sailors, Coast Guard, Marines, whatever. And then when they decide to get out, they might need a little guidance. Some of them do, and so to be there to walk them, especially through the higher education component, just to be the bridge and connect them with the right advisors, maybe the educational plan, explore different opportunities to where they see their next chapter in life. So to be that bridge and to be that, well, if you will, hand holding, as they make those decisions, it's an honor, and I enjoy it.
And to be able to have a position like that with Fresno Pacific University is great. I didn't even know the university had a person like that for veterans.
Yeah.
Do you find veterans too that maybe have been out of the military for some time and they want to go back and continue their education?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have guys like, say myself, a little older, coming back in and getting their education or credentials or some professional development certificates or whatever that looks like to them. Yeah, they definitely come back, and whether they have the benefits available to them, they can just come in and explore different options that they might be looking for, and so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, Denise, things were different. They're still in this flux of figuring out our new way of life and how businesses ran. And I'm sure universities have battled with that and tried to get through that to keep everybody healthy and safe in the process. How's enrollment, and how is that different today? I know there's probably a lot more online learning.
A lot of our programs have shifted to online. If they didn't offer online before, they've made that transition just to keep everyone safe. We are back in person now. We still have online options, but we have brought students back to the campuses for in-person learning. We have protocols in place to keep everyone safe with mask wearing, distance, 6 feet apart, washing your hands, doing all of those things. So we have protocols in place, but students have the option. We have a variety. They can either choose a blended modality, they can do fully online, or they can come in person and do it fully in person. So that they can interact with their classmates.
Yep, and I think a lot of students miss that during especially that first year of the pandemic. And
we miss it too. We miss the interaction with students. I teach a oral communication class, and it got moved to online, and that's different to do speeches, online. But we've adjusted and we've figured out how to do it and do it as best as we can, and still create a sense of community and interaction, and just giving students a place to tell their story and to interact with one another. So we're making it work as best as we can. We've had to adjust, and you have to continually be ready to adjust because we just don't know, what the next day is going to require. So.
Exactly, and you always have to be ready to pivot and be able to, and even pivot as a student, and not only in administration, but as a student too in your education, what makes you feel safe, and then also at the same time how to navigate just the new way of things being done. And one thing from Fresno Pacific University, I know their commissary is legendary. And I hear about it all the time. And is that back operational now?
It is.
It is.
It is. I was like, I know David knows.
He does know.
The bread pudding, by the way.
The bread pudding.
The bread pudding, yes. It's amazing. And that alone is worth going to Fresno Pacific, I've heard.
Yes.
Their commissary is amazing.
Yes, we do have a wonderful food service that they provide for students and staff and faculty. And a lot of guests come onto campus, Fresno Police Department, the fire department. They come oftentimes over to our main campus and break bread with us, and that's exciting to see.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take a break here in a moment where we're going to talk about Operation Dear Veteran. And we got to work on an event, all of us together. That's how we met. And it was the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans event at Chancey Park. When we come back, I want to talk about that too. But Operation Dear Veteran, I got to participate in it last year. And it was kind of emotional. You're writing notes and you're writing cards to give the veterans, and just you're seeing the faces, and you want to make sure they're not forgotten.
Right.
And I know that was probably very important to you, as we'll talk about Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans as well when we come back. Denise Baronian, also David Black, don't go away. Fresno Pacific University and Operation Dear Veteran. And we'll talk about that, how you can participate right here on Business Leaders. Don't go away, more to come here on KMPH Fox 26.
Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody, here in the studios at KMPH Fox 26. My name's Lance Cardoza with Business Leaders, and we were sitting here with Fresno Pacific University's Denise Baronian and also David Black. And we're talking about how we met and talking about the university. And now I'm starting to get hungry thinking about that commissary there at Fresno Pacific. Alan Autry raved about that.
Yes, yes. We had lunch with him there.
That's where you'd find him all the time. Raved about it. I haven't had a chance to come try it, but I've heard it's amazing. But one thing that was real amazing to me, and a group of people that I got to meet, and it started with your charge, Denise. Your husband, a Vietnam veteran.
Yep.
And you had conversations with him that made you think about doing an event that would welcome home our Vietnam veterans, a true welcome home. And by talking to other veterans, you found that this was something that pulled at your heart. And you and David together started talking. Tell us about that, how that event come to be.
I actually saw a video from which
Fort Campbell, Kentucky?
Yes, in Fort Campbell. And where they had done on a small scale a welcome home event. And I just started hearing stories from my husband that they didn't receive that welcome home. It was quite different for our Vietnam veterans coming home. And so I just thought, why can't we welcome them home? Why can't we give it to them now? It's never too late. And so I just let that stew in my brain for about, 5 years. And then when we hired David, I just went to him and said, I have this idea and I don't know how we can do it, but what do you think about this? And David, through AMVETS also, and in partnership with Fresno Pacific, and he got some amazing group of men together. You were one of those men, and we just started talking and
Men
dreaming,
women. Men
and
women in the
yes,
group as well. Yeah.
yes. I can't leave the women out. We started with just the men, but then we brought the women in.
Well, that's how it all got.
Yes.
That's how it happened.
Yes.
When the women got involved, it really started to become
That's
reality.
right.
Yeah. The men were
Exactly.
dreaming and excited about it and
Yeah.
said, "We can do this," but actually, the women had to come in and straighten us all out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we had just an amazing team from Red Cross partnered with us, and the VA hospital, and we just had so many local businesses and yourself, just a lot of talented and people that had a heart for our veterans. We came together, and Grizzlies took it and ran with it, and we were able to partner with them during a baseball game. And over that year alone, we welcomed home over 500 Vietnam veterans the first year that we did it. And it was.
I heard some of the voicemails that came into Chancey
Yes.
Park there at the Fresno Grizzlies after the event. Some that couldn't make it from far, and some that were there at that event. And it was very emotional to hear some of those voicemails that came in that they left saying, "Hey, thank you. I don't know who put this together, but I want to say thank you, and it was amazing." Or they would call and say, "My uncle never always felt uncomfortable about it, but the first time we saw him embrace it and was very excited about it." And I think your big reward was, you saw a tear in your husband's eye, I'm sure.
Oh, I saw more than a
More
tear.
than a tear, yeah.
There was a lot of
lot of
tears,
tears, yeah.
and down on the field, because we had a special challenge coin made, and as the veterans were able to step onto the baseball field and we were able to give them a challenge coin, we said, welcome home," and so many said, "That's the first time I've ever heard those words." And they cried, I cried. It was just a very emotional event, and it was really much more than I even dreamed, so that was such a blessing.
And David, when she brought this to you, I knew you said, "Hey, why don't we have an all-American baseball?" You smell the grass. I remember
That's
you
right.
hearing that. And,
That's right.
that's where our veterans need to be.
Yep.
And you led that charge too. And to be able to do that with Vietnam veterans, so a veteran yourself, and knowing the era of Vietnam, what did that mean to you that day as a veteran?
Oh, that meant a lot. My father is a retired Navy as well, and he did 2 tours in Vietnam. So unfortunately, we lost him in 1984. But I joined the Navy in '87 and retired in 2010. Numerous deployments and homecomings, and all of mine have been warm and welcoming, and open arms, and a few little debates or challenges, on should we be at war or whatever, which is great. It needs to be at the table. But nothing did I ever, myself or any of my friends who served, experience what the Vietnam veteran experienced. So to be a part of that and to look at how, and I always take it back to say World War I to present day, all these homecomings were pretty much welcome home, except for this one era, regardless of what it is. We just wanted to correct and make right that was wrong. Whatever was going on in the country or global side, just these men and women that served in uniform, we just went, "Hey, welcome home. We love you." And not only that, their family members, because a lot of family members, as we both know, Smokey and his wife Becky, what they experienced right here in Clovis.
It was the whole family unit
Yeah,
that
it was the whole
experienced it. And a lot of veterans that aren't with us today, and the family members still live with that burden that they weren't welcome home. To give the coin to those family members in an honor of their father or their mother was huge.
Yeah.
A very big thing. So I was curious with your perspective, because we can't pretend to know what it's like as a veteran.
Right.
And talking with your husband, some of the things they've went through or had to experience in serving our country, and allowing us to have a television show, Business Leaders, allowing us to be able to do what we do today and protecting us is sometimes we forget about those things. So it was great to see that and experience that, and also do another good deed for veterans. And I love this Operation Dear Veteran. And we're going to take a short break again, but when we come back, we want to let everybody know at home how you can be a part of this in Operation Dear Veteran. And this is another brainchild of Denise and David's help too, and everybody that came together last year for the first event of Operation Dear Veteran. And you can participate in this from home, and we'll have that information for you below here to where you can send a card or a note and be a part of a veteran's life during this time, during the holiday season. And Fresno Pacific University will take care of that, making sure that it's distributed and given to veterans in need. So don't go away. Stay with us right here on Business Leaders. More to come. We'll talk about Operation Dear Veteran when we return. We'll be right back.
Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody, to Business Leaders. Make sure you go to businessleaders.tv to watch this episode and other past episodes of Business Leaders. My guest today, Denise Baronian, and also David Black from Fresno Pacific University. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of that amazing group where we all stay connected, that worked on Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans at Chichansi Park with the Grizzlies. It was a big day for many, many people, and still people talk about it. They still talk about it today, and some of those veterans will never forget about it.
That's right.
They have that challenge coin to remember that day by, and that was an amazing day. But also we have another amazing event honoring veterans. Again, this is the second annual. Tell us about the event, Denise.
So Operation Dear Veteran was kind of birthed from the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans. We did that 2 years, and then the third year COVID hit. We weren't able to do that. So really it came about thinking, how can we reach out to our community, bless our veterans in a different way, since we're not doing the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans event with Grizzlies. And so what better way than to handwrite cards and make sure that during the Christmas season, that specifically the first season, we sent them to veterans that were at the VA hospital, that were either in the residence area, or if they were, in the hospital for whatever reason. And then those that live at the California Veterans Home, we wanted to make sure that they knew that the community did not forget them, even though we're all, separated and we're all remote, and we didn't want them to feel so isolated that people didn't remember them during the holidays. And so with Fresno Pacific, we have several goals and just standards that we work toward in everything that we do. And one of those is to serve courageously. So I wanted to figure out something with our regional campuses that we could do to serve our community. And I thought, what better way than to serve our veterans? And so we came up with Operation Dear Veteran. And what was amazing about that is that family members got together and did David with his family, and my grandsons. The first 2 cards I got were from my 2-year-old and 4-year-old grandson. They made cards for the veterans.
Oh, cool.
And so we challenged everybody we knew to get their families together, get their offices together, their businesses, their neighborhoods, and make cards. And we had a goal of 500 cards, and we ended up with 1,200, I think, over 1,200.
You surpassed that, in
Oh,
flying
yeah,
colors,
yes. So we decided to do it again this year because it was such a success, and it's just a way to reach out to our community and let our veterans know that that we love them and we're thankful for their service and their sacrifice, and above all, they're not forgotten. We see them, we know they're there.
In my family too, and we did our cards last year too, like I was saying at the top of the show, as you're signing those cards and you're thinking about that veteran that you probably won't get to meet, and they're opening up that card, it pulls at your heartstrings, and it maybe might be the only card or the only contact during that holiday season. And David, I know you're a guy that wears your heart on your sleeve. I know it probably pulled several tears during that time when your family was involved with that. And everybody got together and just signed a note or signed cards to the veterans?
Yeah, I gathered everybody around the kitchen island, and we filled things out. So this year she touched on 2 points. We're touching lives of veterans, and it's a teaching opportunity for our families and our younger generation and those veterans who served after Vietnam. Just to sit down and take a moment to reflect and think back on that era and what it was like to, number one, go fight, whatever, but to come home and to fight and to have that, to go through those challenges.
And fighting just its way through life.
Yeah, just
trying
through
to
life
find
and
your
the
place.
challenge.
Yeah.
And to take that moment and for our kiddos and for us to say, wow, thank you, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So this year what I'm going to do is Thanksgiving's coming up and my daughter's getting married and my future son-in-law's family's coming out. So before anybody can eat, they have to do 10 cards each.
Oh, there you go. Get all the cards ready, have some pens
and
ready
be thankful
to go.
about it.
And be thankful about it. And sign cards of veterans. And then you're collecting them all. So when someone at home says, I want to do this, I want to be a part of Operation Dear Veteran, and they want to fill out a note or a card, And the address is below where they can send it, and a phone number if you have any questions to have them picked up. But they can send them to this address below.
Yes, they'll be able to send them. We just ask that they write on the outside of the card, Operation Dear Veteran, and then put it in a larger manila envelope, and they're sending it to Fresno Pacific, to our North Fresno campus. And we just collect them, and then we pack big Christmas boxes, and we act like we're Santa, and we go around and we deliver them. And this year, if we get enough cards, which I know we will because our community is amazing, we want to deliver them throughout the valley, not just here in Fresno, but actually we have a campus in Bakersfield, Merced, Visalia, and North Fresno. So we want to make sure that at least one veteran group in each of our regional campus communities gets some cards delivered to them. So we want to expand our reach, not just Fresno, try to get out to the other towns as well.
And I think it's a great idea, David, like you were saying too, bringing your whole family together and making it a fun event, and also the education process, which is something that's really big that I hear constantly, is letting young people know the story and let them know the story of a veteran and the story of all the eras of the military, and let them know too that if you could be young and sitting there not even thinking about it, and that poor veteran sitting at home and maybe he doesn't talk to anybody, then the holiday season, that card can be life-changing to that person.
A lot of school children wrote letters. My daughter had her classes at Kerman Middle School write letters. And the letters that the students wrote were phenomenal. And so we're hoping to get more schools involved this year as well.
Awesome. So that number is below. The address is below. Make sure that you go there and you fill out the cards this year and you get it in for Operation Dear Veteran. Denise, David, thank you for being on my program. I appreciate it here on Business Leaders. And make sure, go to that number below. And if you have any questions, and fill out your cards, but then also wrap them up and put them in a big manila envelope and send them to the address and be a part of a veteran's life during the holiday season. Thank you. That's all the time we have. Until next time, here Tuesday mornings, thank you for watching Business Leaders.